Hey YouTube, today I'm going to be doing a video that I've been meaning to get to for quite some time, but I just never got around to it. I'm going to be talking about my favorite games of all time. And they will be from my 5 favorite systems: the PS3, the Xbox 360, the Nintendo DS, the Wii, and the Nintendo 3DS. So I have 30 games. So this is going to be my top 30, let's call it, as of right now, at the time of this video. So here we go. So keep in mind, the first game I'm going to talk about, number 30, it's actually, I'm going to say it's not a bad game, but it's not my most favorite out of the other games here. So, number 30, Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. So, this game's not really bad, but it's just one that I haven't played as much as all the other games that you're going to see very soon. But Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga is, I guess, somewhat cool because it has every single episode from Star Wars, number 1 to VI, which I forget what number it is. I think it's called Roman numerals, but let me know down below, what does the VI stand for? And keep in mind that VI you can just type as the basic letters and then it'll understand it. But Lego Star Wars is good somewhat, especially since it combines everything from Lego Star Wars, the first video game, and Lego Star Wars 2. Which those are not in this list here. Spoiler. Definitely not Lego Star Wars, since I have it on the GameCube, and GameCube is not one of my favorite systems. But anyway, that's Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. You probably get this if you want to have both games on here and not get both games separately, unless you like getting, I guess, all the Lego Star Wars games. So, next game, Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. I actually have not played this game in quite some time, but I can definitely give you an explanation of it, especially since I know a lot about Super Smash Bros. And play Super Smash Bros. A lot just in general. And keep in mind, even though I don't really Switch game, I actually do play Smash Ultimate fairly a lot. But Smash 4, I haven't been playing too much of. It's not one of my favorite Smash Bros. Games. But I mean, my least favorite would probably be Smash Melee. But the good thing about this, the cool thing is that this is the first Smash Bros. Game to be on a handheld. And I mean, this is the only Smash Bros. Game that's on a major handheld system. And I don't know, why is it that, if you know the reason, why do you think Nintendo mainly just produces these for consoles that are TV home consoles? I mean, the Switch is both, but surprisingly, I actually have not played Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. But I kind of consider, since I've only played Smash for 3DS, that I've played Super Smash 4. So I've pretty much played every single Smash Bros. Game. But even though this is personal preference, since this is a handheld, the good thing for me is that you can't use a GameCube controller. Especially since they're wired, and handhelds wouldn't really have that, because that's not a thing really meant for them. But anyways, since there's no controller, you just get to use the buttons, so I can't really say anything about that. But I recommend it. This is probably not a lot of people's favorite Smash Bros. Game, because my piano teacher actually says that he does not really like Smash 4. Well, he doesn't really like Wii U, but he wouldn't want to play it on 3DS because he thinks it's worse. It seems worse on the 3DS, but I don't disagree with him, but I don't want to say it's worse because this is the one that I've played, and I have not played Smash for Wii U. I know what it's like. I've seen videos to know what Smash for Wii U is like, but otherwise I've not played Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. But this is Super Smash Bros. 4 that's 29. 28 here is Super Mario Galaxy. This is actually a Mario game that I have not played too much, but it is somewhat good. It's challenging, which is pretty cool, I guess. Right now I'm at the part where you have to, I guess, run on top of all those switches to deactivate them to stop Bowser from taking all the energy from a star or something. Right now I'm at that part, so it's one of the first levels. Again, this was recommended to me by Suhas Gaming, so go subscribe to him. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description down below. But that's Super Mario Galaxy, but I don't really have anything else to say about it. A lot of you guys probably would know about it since it's one of the best Wii games. Next, another best Wii game, game number 27 here. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I actually have been playing this game earlier today, and I actually am getting pretty good at it. Right now I'm at the part where you have to stop or I guess exterminate a beehive. And because one of the I don't know how to say it. One of the village people, I guess, in Hyrule gets stung, and Link has to find a way to stop it. But that's Twilight Princess. I recommend it. This is probably the most the better way, anyways, to get this game, since the GameCube and Wii U versions of the game are expensive. GameCube definitely, because it didn't sell as much copies as the Wii, especially since Twilight Princess was the last first-party GameCube game, and after that it was only a few more months that it was on sale, so. But the Wii U version, especially, the Wii U sold lower, so there's probably not too many copies of Twilight Princess HD. But Twilight Princess on Wii, you can just take this, play it on your Wii U, and then you basically have Twilight Princess in HD pretty much. So you can just take your Wii game, buy a Wii U, and then just play the Wii Twilight Princess on that. But either way, no matter, I don't really care for the graphics too much, but there's some cases which I do, but not in the case of Twilight Princess. The next game, game number 26, New Super Mario Bros. This game is actually one of my favorite games of all time. Surprisingly, it's not around the end, but it's definitely a good game. It's one, well, there's other New Super Mario Bros. Games that you're going to be seeing in a second, or in a minute, actually, that I think are a little bit better than this one. But this New Super Mario Bros. Game is actually a bit different than how the other games are. Like, New Super Mario Bros. Wii actually did remove some things from this game. Like, this game actually had just a bunch of random bosses, but New Super Mario Bros. Wii 2 and U actually have the Koopalings and Bowser as the bosses. Whereas this one, there's just random bosses. Bowser is the boss for the castle boss anyways, for World 1 and World 8. World 8 is the final world, of course. But I have actually beat this game. I actually, back in 2022, I actually sold my copy that only was I only had the cartridge. I got it from GameStop from my brother, but then I ended up selling it, and then eventually I decided to want to get it back because I wanted to get the gameplay from New Super Mario Bros. Again. And I actually have been taking the time to get all the star coins too. That's kind of a challenge that I have put in for a few Mario games, such as Super Mario 3D Land, which you're going to see very soon. Spoiler again. But that's New Super Mario Bros. I definitely recommend it. But there's other better Mario games out there, I guess, for the New Super Mario Bros. But I still recommend it. It's actually the best-selling game for the Nintendo DS. Next, game number 25, I think we're at. Donkey Kong Country Returns. So, this game I actually have been putting way much more time into, or more time than I have in the past. In the past, I didn't put as much time into this one, but now I'm actually interested. The challenges are actually interesting with this game. And even though you can do 2-player with this game, there's actually some things some instances where Diddy Kong will appear and he'll assist you. And yeah, I think that's all I really have to say for this. I recommend it. I mean, the most commonly played, or the game from Donkey Kong that I've played the most is probably just the NES Donkey Kong. But that's all I have to say for Donkey Kong Country Returns. Finally, after the 14-year gap between the third Donkey Kong Country game from the Super Nintendo, and then 4 years later, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze was released on the Wii U. But this is Donkey Kong Country Returns. I recommend it. Game 24. Oh, also, keep in mind, I'm actually going to mention the release dates if I can remember it, because in the past 2 videos where I talked about games, I actually forgot sometimes. But Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga was released on November 5th, 2007. Super Smash Bros., the 3DS version anyway, released in October 12th or 21st, 2014. Donkey Kong Country Returns, released on December 21st, 2010. New Super Mario Bros. Was released on May 15th, 2006. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess was released on November 19th, 2006 as a launch game for the Wii. On both the Wii and GameCube platforms, they came out at the same time. Super Mario Galaxy was released about a year later on November 12th, 2007. So that's that. Now, Game 24, as I was mentioning, Kirby's Epic Yarn, released on October 14th, 2010. This is actually a really good Kirby game. I've played this with my brother a few times. And he's actually grown up with it as well when he had a Wii. And there is some challenges to it. Surprisingly, this is the only... this is the only known first-party game that I know that the only control option is the Wii Remote. There's no other control options. This is like the only game I have, or definitely the only game that I know about that I know for sure only has the Wii Remote as the only control option. Surprisingly, no nunchuck, but it is a game where you will be holding the Wii Remote sideways. Just like a game that I will be talking about next. But it's Kirby's basically in Patchland, and he has some he can actually whip. He has a yarn whip that he can use to hit enemies, as you can see. And he can go into a saucer, he can go into a dolphin, and then the second player is Prince Fluff. Really good Kirby game. I really enjoy it, so I recommend it. Game number 23, released on November 11th, 2009, New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And I'll mention, because I actually said it earlier, this is a game where you will be using the Wii Remote sideways. Which I actually think is kind of cool, because then it seems like you're playing as an actual controller, as if you were back in the NES days. And one of the cool things about this game, one of the things that makes this one of my favorite Wii games of all time, is the fact that it's 4-player at the same time. I've never done the complete full player, or the complete 4-player. I've done 2-player, which is definitely something good or decent. But I really enjoy this game anyway, even if I do it in single player. New Super Mario Bros. Wii is one of my favorites. Just the levels are challenging at times, but this game actually is different than New Super Mario Bros. In the fact that it removes the main power-up that was introduced in New Super Mario Bros., which you can tell from the box art, if I can get it here. the reason why Mario is big here is because of the Mega Mushroom, which was introduced with this game, and it was not in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And in the original New Super Mario Bros., you couldn't do 2-player for the regular courses. There was this separate Mario versus Luigi, and then in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, you can also do 4-player with with the blue and yellow Toads. And it's 4-player at the same time, which is what makes this game cool, except there's no Mega Mushroom. I know a 4-player game that actually has Mega Mushroom, Super Mario 3D World, maybe they could do that since it's 3D, but I definitely recommend this game. It's an amazing game. Let's play it together. Let's say it together, because now we can play it together. Here we go. Here we go. I was trying to sound like the commercial for this game. And keep in mind, this is a game that my brother also did grow up on. A lot of these Wii games that I'm actually going to talk about, he did grow up on. The next game is Shrek Smash and Crash Racing. Game number 22, released on November 14th, 2006. This game, especially if you have the DS version, I'm not entirely sure about the other versions, but at least the DS version, in case you're wondering, the controls are the exact same as Mario Kart on the DS, or just the general controls of Mario Kart in the modern day, and in the days of the DS, of course. But Shrek Smash and Crash Racing is the same controls as Mario Kart DS, especially with this being the DS version. But I like it. It's somewhat fun. I mean, I do like racing games, but there isn't really much I can say about this since it's basically similar to the idea of Mario Kart and with the same controls too. So there isn't really much I can say about it. But pick it up, I guess, if you like Shrek. But I mean, there's Mario Kart, and that's more popular, so that's probably recommended. Next game, game number 21, Super Mario 3D Land. This is actually a game that I've been putting a lot of time and effort into recently. This is one of my games that I got when I first bought my 3DS back 6 years ago at this point. And I actually put a lot of time into it then and even now. And now I actually created a separate save file that I actually specifically made for getting the experience and actually getting all the coins. Getting all the star coins. Star medals, it's called, to be precise, with this game. But this game was released on November 13th, 2011. So it's one of the games in the first year of the Nintendo 3DS. But I really enjoy it. It actually brings the Tanuki suit in 3D. It's basically the raccoon suit, it adds more to it, since it's the 3D game. And Super Mario 3D World the name doesn't really make as much sense as Super Mario 3D Land, especially since 3D Land was on the 3DS and you could play in 3D, so I think it made more sense for the naming for Super Mario 3D Land. So I definitely recommend this game. This is definitely one of the best handheld Mario games. This is probably, I probably have to say, one of my favorite 3D Mario games. I don't really like the other ones, just because they're not as fun, especially since this one actually brings elements that I'm used to from the 2D games, and the 2D games are actually much better. Their elements are much better, so bringing them into a 3D game was a big deal back then, and even today. But that's that. Game number 20, Wii Sports Resort, released on July 25th, 2009, and introduced Wii Motion Plus. The camera will focus in. Introduced Wii Motion Plus. So many copies did actually come with Wii Motion Plus. I'll show you my collector's edition box. This is it here. As you can see, it came with Motion Plus. So, because it's basically required to play this game. They released it so that there's more accuracy for the remotes. And they did really well with it. I do enjoy my favorite sport from this game would probably have to be the wakeboarding. I just really enjoy it, especially since the theming. I really like the idea of the theming for Wii Sports being a resort. I mean, I'm going to talk about Wii Sports very soon, and I'll say that I think Wii Sports is better. But maybe that's probably most people's opinions, especially since Wii Sports sold way more since it was a launch game and it was bundled with more Wii systems anyway. But I still recommend it. Game number 19. Cars Race-O-Rama, released on October 12, 2009. This game is probably my least favorite Cars game. Just is not as fun since I have Cars Mater National, and it's basically similar, except this is actually somewhat fine. Unfortunately, this isn't 4-player, it's 2-player, but surprisingly, they do implement Wii Wheel support, as you can see here. Cars Mater National and Cars, the video game for the Wii, did not make Wii Wheel use, especially since at that time, the Wii Wheel was not in existence. But the Wii Wheel's main purpose was Mario Kart Wii, when that was introduced with the game. But I still like this somewhat. It's not bad. But there isn't really much I can say about it. And game number 18, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I actually started playing this a little more. Now it's one of my favorites. I mainly like the running or the track sport. And especially since I'm good at running in the real world, and I'm doing track next year in school. So, and I've been doing a lot of running and stuff this year, physical activity. So this could probably prepare me for that track. But anyway, I'm going besides the point. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, I'm probably on Mario's side, especially since I played more of Mario, and I'm not really a Sega fan. I mean, I don't play on the Sega systems. I mainly just, like, the only games I really have that have Sonic are this and Super Smash Bros. And he actually, for Smash Bros, he debuted in another game, which I'm going to be talking about later in this video. But this is actually a good game. It was released on September 6, 2007, and this is game number 18 for this list. So, I recommend it. And it was also on the DS. Sadly, I do not have Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, but if I have the Olympic Games, I'm happy, because it actually seems better. But next game number 17, I think we're at. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, released on June 15th, 2007, actually a full month before its movie even came out. I forget what number Harry Potter movie this is. If you guys know, you can let me know. But I do enjoy the graphics somewhat. EA definitely does do a lot of games where they're originally from the real world, but they definitely do a good job at making the game through a computer in the way that they're doing it to closely resemble what the actual people look like. Because, I mean, there's no way in a video game, really, that you would get the characters to look like how we look in the real world as ourselves. But the magic tricks from this game are pretty cool. And everything else. And I really like the graphics, too. Especially since I have the PlayStation 3 edition of the game. But get whatever edition you can of this game, and it's still a good experience. Game number 16, Wii Sports. Of course, Wii Sports has got to be one of these games. I really enjoy it. So there isn't really much to say about it, because I'm sure a lot of you guys know it and have played it when if you've grown up with the Wii. So definitely a game my brother had played, but his favorite game from the Wii is probably Wii Sports Resort. What I'm the best at this game is probably the bowling. I mean, I'm good with tennis and baseball, but not as good as the bowling. I'm not as good with those as I am with the bowling. But I do enjoy this game. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have it if you have a Wii, since it came bundled with a majority of the consoles. So I don't really need to say I would pick it up, because most of you probably already have it. And released as a launch game for the Wii on November 19th, 2006. Next, we have another game here, Mario Kart DS. One of my favorite Mario Kart games, released on November 14th, 2005. And that's actually exactly a full year before Shrek Smash and Crash Racing came out. And I have it on the DS, and it's the exact same controls as Mario Kart DS, and it's basically the same idea as Mario Kart. So, just something coincidental, I guess, and something that just wanted to mention. But Mario Kart DS was actually the very first game to incorporate online gameplay, and it actually introduced the blooper, and what else did it introduce? I think it also introduced the lightning that would shrink your cart, basically. I mean, this isn't my most favorite Mario Kart, especially since the controls are just moving is just revolving around a D-pad. It's not revolving around a joystick like with Mario Kart Wii and 7. But I do think this is a cool addition, or this is a cool game, a cool addition of Mario Kart. But this is actually, I actually used to have a pajama shirt that actually had this look for Mario Kart. And I like this game. I recommend it. Next game is game number... great. So let me see here. Yep. Yeah, game number 14, New Super Mario Bros. 2. And the name for this is actually pretty strange, because like this is not the second New Super Mario Bros. Game, because before this there was New Super Mario Bros. Wii. But New Super Mario Bros. 2 actually does receive some physics from New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, and the fact that they go back to the 2-player, and you can actually finally do it with the actual courses. This game mainly revolves theming around coins. As you can see, it's all gold here. And they actually bring back the Mega Mushroom. Unfortunately, you can't keep them in stock like you can with the original game. And you can actually, there's only one course where you can actually destroy the flagpole, which is actually something famously known with the first game. But I recommend it. Actually has a better theme than the original games. So I recommend picking it up. Game number 13, Mario Kart Wii. I like this game mainly because it uses motion controls. Oh, and by the way, this game, here we go again, released on August 19th, 2012. This game was released on April 10th, 2008. So this game is really cool in the fact that it involves motion controls, and it introduces motorcycles. And it really has a bunch of courses that I really do enjoy, such as I think it's the Luigi circuit it's called, Grumble Volcano. One of my favorites, especially one I've grown up with on the 3DS, is Coconut Mall. And this, as I said, this game was to introduce the Wii wheel, especially since the Wii was, they wanted to make the appearance, or they wanted to make the experience as if you're actually driving a car. But I definitely recommend this game if you really like motion control gaming. Next, game number 12, Kirby Superstar Ultra, released on September 22nd, 2008. So this is actually now one of my favorite games, and the mini games that they have in here are really fun. There's a, what do you call it? There's a something that has like speed something. I forget what it's called. I don't remember the name, but it basically allows you to play the original courses from the Game Boy game Kirby's Dream Land, which I definitely have played before. But I like it. My favorite one is, of course, Gourmet Race, I think. But that's all I have to say for this game. I'm going to try and make this quick since my phone does not have a lot of space. The next game, my very first Xbox 360 game, Cars Mater National, Game 11, released on October 29th, 2007. I like this game. It's basically Cars Race-A-Rama, but it's actually a little bit better. I do like the controls with playing with an actual controller. But you can actually get Sully and Mike Wazowski, I think, trucks that you can get. Shrek Forever After, Game 10, May 12, 2010. Huh. This is, how do I say it? I guess platformer. I guess not really platformer, but I like the experience. There isn't really much I can say about this, but I recommend it. Next, we have Namco Museum DS, game number 9. This is actually really cool. It has a bunch of our classic arcade games, Pac-Man, Galaga, Dig Dug 2, and a bunch of other games here. Unfortunately, there's no Dig Dug 1. There's just Dig Dug 2, but I'm fine with that. I just wish it had Dig Dug 1. There's another Namco Museum game that I'll show you that makes it way better than this one, which I'll actually get to that right now. This game was released on September 18th, 2007. Next, we have WarioWare Smooth Moves, released on January 15th, 2007, and it's game 8. I really like this game because of the mini games, and I really like the Mona game, which I've actually done videos of a few times in the past, earlier this year. The mini games are pretty cool. And they're kind of, the idea for them is kind of hilarious, I'll be honest. But I like this game. It's one of the first games for the Wii. This was actually a launch game for the Wii in Japan. But we didn't get this until January. But I recommend it. Next game, game number 7, I think we're at. Namco Museum Megamix, released on November 16th, 2010. This game is actually better. I haven't really played the games that it introduced. I mainly just play the arcade classics, because that's what I mostly enjoy. It does have the first Dig Dug, in case you're wondering. And I do really enjoy it. And you actually get to use the classic controller for those, as if similarly to you use the classic controller for the Wii Shop channel virtual console games that you would get. And I think a few of them were Namco. I think there was actually Pac-Man that you could get. Probably not Dig Dug, but definitely you could get Pac-Man back at the time. But this game is alright. I enjoy it. So, buy it if you can. Definitely pick it up. Next, game number 6. The Incredibles Rise of the Underminer. This game is basically a combination of a puzzle game and a platformer. This game was released on October 24th, 2005, and it's really actionist or adventurous, however you say it. I forget the word. I guess you could say those, but it's actually really cool at the same time. So I recommend it. It's a really cool game. Sorry, I got cut off by a phone call, so let's continue. Game number 5, I think. Yeah, game number 5. It's a puzzle game called Meteos. I don't think a lot of people know about this, but it's actually somewhat good. It's actually kind of challenging, especially once the difficulty increases. So you basically, I don't know how you explain this, but you basically you use the stylus on the bottom screen to make pairs of the Meteos and then launch them up, I guess. So it's kind of similar to the idea of Tetris, but it's a little bit different. But I recommend it. It was released on March 10th, 2006. Next, we have game number 4, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This is probably my most favorite Smash Bros. Game here. it actually, not a lot of people agree with that statement, but I do appreciate it. It actually introduces a bunch of new characters, such as Solid Snake and Sonic. As I was saying, this is the first Smash Bros. Game to involve Sonic the Hedgehog. And everybody was excited that he was there, and it even says that on one of the codec calls that Snake has, where somebody from his crew actually talks about Sonic. And then Snake says, there's something about him I just don't like, and that he has no reason, just says, nope, just don't like him. Which is very surprising. But that's for this game. Released on March 9th, 2008. Now, game number 3, Mario Kart 7. This is probably my most favorite Mario Kart of all time, and it's the first game I've ever played. This is no longer my most favorite game. You'll see my most favorite game very soon. But I like the fact that it introduces the gliders and new objects, such as the Fire Flower, the Leaf, and Lucky 7. And I will tell you, I do not play any Mario Kart games beyond Mario Kart 7. I don't play after Mario Kart 7 because they're just not as good as Mario Kart 7 or other games. But that's all I have to say for this. Released on December 4th, 2011, and is the best-selling game for the Nintendo 3DS. Next, game number 2. So we're getting towards the end here. We got Minecraft here, the Xbox 360 version anyways. I like this game mainly because it's an older version. Since it's no longer updated, I can just play this, but I like it anyway since it's better anyway. This is actually, I like this better than Mario Kart 7 now, especially since I've just played Minecraft in general just longer. I played it since 2016, and I've played the mobile edition first before playing it on console. And at that time, it was an update close enough to the one that's on this one, at least. Where there's the older suits of the villagers, which look better than the newer villagers today. And it has a lot of other stuff. I definitely recommend it if you want to play an older version of Minecraft, but there's also the PS3 version, which you can do that with, the Wii U version, which you can do that with, and maybe you can do that with the Nintendo 3DS version, the new Nintendo 3DS version anyway, because it's exclusive to the new system since it needs more RAM or something of that sort to be able to handle running Minecraft. And the idea of it being on 2 screens is pretty cool, except it does not support 3D, which I wish it did, especially with that being the main gimmick of the console. It would have been cool to see Minecraft in 3D. Okay, so the very, very last game. Here it is. It is Cars 2, the video game. I have all of my 5 platforms here on my 5 favorite systems. The PS3 version, the Xbox 360 version, the Nintendo DS version, the Wii version, and then the first version that I ever got, the Nintendo 3DS version. This is my favorite game of all time because of the experience. I mean, on the home consoles, the experience is different since we don't have a story mode like we do on the other versions. But that's no big deal with me. Because I definitely like the experience and the fact that you actually get to use weapons with the home console editions, and you don't get that with the handhelds, since the handhelds are limited, as I've said a few times. Which is funny enough that they add a story mode specifically for those 2 versions. But either way, the experience on any of these platforms is really, really good. By the way, I'm actually working on a Cars 2 comparison video on all of these, because I'm also getting some comments too, and I'm almost done working on it, so when it gets done, it will be posted. So, thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for more exciting content. I know this is a pretty long video. Stay tuned, subscribe and comment and like, and you know the basic drill. turn on the notifications as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.